6 p.m. at a crowded Tokyo train station. If you look closely, you will see thousands of people rushing by. A moment later, they are sitting in restaurants, consuming massive bowls of white rice, udon noodles, bento boxes, and sushi. They are rarely seen in gym clothes, and the gym membership rate in Japan is just around 3%, an incredibly low number compared to Western countries. But here is the paradox. The obesity rate in Japan hovers around just 4%, making it one of the lowest in the world. Meanwhile, take a look at yourself. You might be spending 2 hours a day in the gym, lifting weights and running on the treadmill until you are completely exhausted. You miserably cut out carbs, yet that stubborn belly fat just will not budge. Do you think the fat you can pinch under your skin is the worst part? It is not. The real killer destroying your health is visceral fat. This is the deep fat wrapping tightly around your liver, your intestines, and your pancreas. It constantly releases inflammatory cytokines and completely hijacks your entire metabolic system. Why is it that, even when eating the exact same amount of calories, the Japanese maintain a slim waistline while you store belly fat? The secret is not some magical genetic lottery. The secret lies in the hormonal environment they naturally create every single day. Welcome to the truth about your body. Today, we are going to crack the Japanese metabolic code and turn your body into an automatic fat-burning machine. For decades, the fitness industry has brainwashed us with a deeply flawed equation. They tell us that calories in must simply be less than calories out. This outdated mindset has created a toxic culture of self-punishment. We drag ourselves to the gym, punishing our bodies with grueling high-intensity cardio, desperately trying to burn off what we just ate. But your biology does not care about math. It cares about survival. When you force your body through exhausting workouts while already stressed from daily life, your adrenal glands hit the panic button. They flood your system with a massive wave of cortisol, the primary stress hormone. And here is where the disaster happens. When cortisol teams up with insulin, which spikes when you eat the wrong things, they form a biological weapon of mass destruction. Together, they send a very clear and dangerous command to your body. They say, lock the fat cells immediately. Do not burn anything. Instead, grab every ounce of leftover energy and hoard it straight into the belly as visceral fat to prepare for starvation. By overtraining and stressing your system, you are literally signaling your body to hold on to fat. The Japanese approach is the exact opposite. Their daily lifestyle does not trigger these hormonal shockwaves. Instead of fighting their biology, they optimize it through a sequence of tiny, effortless habits. They naturally activate specific receptors in the gut, they maximize their insulin sensitivity, and they sustain a massive amount of passive calorie burning through daily movement. No extreme diets, no punishing workouts, just pure physiological alignment. Let us dive deep into the 5 core biological signals they use to stay slim. Signal number 1. Suppressing insulin through meal sequencing. In Japan, the traditional culinary culture known as Washoku is a masterpiece of metabolic health. Instead of one massive plate, a meal is always served in several tiny dishes. You get a warm bowl of soup, a small plate of vegetables, a serving of protein like fish or meat, and finally, the bowl of white rice. Here is the mind-blowing truth. You absolutely can eat white rice without storing belly fat, as long as you know how to strategically sequence what goes into your stomach first. Let us look at the science. When you eat carbohydrates, like rice or bread, on an empty stomach, the starches are instantly broken down into glucose. This sugar floods straight into your bloodstream. In a panic, your pancreas is forced to pump out a massive wave of insulin to clean up the mess. And remember our golden biological rule. When insulin spikes, lipolysis, which is your body's natural fat-burning process, is instantly and completely shut down. Your body shifts from burning fat to aggressively storing it. But watch what happens when you flip the script. If you eat your fiber first, like a salad or cooked greens, that fiber travels to your small intestine and creates a thick, viscous gel. This gel acts like a physical shield, dramatically slowing down how fast the sugar from your rice can be absorbed later on. The data on this is undeniable. A landmark study published in the journal Diabetes Care in 2015 proved that simply eating your vegetables and protein before your carbohydrates reduces blood sugar and insulin spikes by a staggering 73%. So, here is your practical rule for every single meal. Start with your vegetables and fiber. Then, move on to your protein and healthy fats, like meat, fish, or eggs. Save your carbohydrates, the rice, or noodles, for the very end of the meal. The immediate benefit? By keeping your blood sugar perfectly flat, you will completely eliminate that exhausting post-meal food coma. You will also destroy those aggressive afternoon sugar cravings that sabotage your progress. Just a quick warning. If you have a sensitive stomach or weak digestion, make sure to chew your vegetables very thoroughly before swallowing to help your gut process the fiber. Signal number 2. The secret of resistant starch in cold rice. Remember at the beginning of this video when I mentioned how the Japanese eat massive amounts of sushi and bento boxes without destroying their waistlines? Well, there is a core difference in how they consume those meals. They eat them cold. When you do this, you completely change the chemical structure of the grain itself. Let us look at the science. When freshly cooked white rice is allowed to cool down, the starch molecules inside undergo a chemical process called retrogradation. This transforms regular, highly digestible starch into something called resistant starch. Why is this so incredibly powerful? Because the human body actually does not have the enzymes to digest resistant starch in the small intestine. Instead, it acts like a ghost. It bypasses the stomach entirely and travels straight down into your large intestine. Once there, it becomes the ultimate superfood for your microbiome, the trillions of good bacteria living in your gut. These bacteria feast on the resistant starch and ferment it, producing a miracle compound called butyrate. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid that actively reduces visceral inflammation around your organs, dramatically improves your insulin sensitivity, and triggers your brain to release the satiety hormone known as GLP-1. Yes, this is the exact same natural fullness hormone that modern weight loss drugs try to aggressively mimic. It naturally turns off your hunger from the inside out. So, here is your practical, everyday habit. Stop eating your rice while it is still steaming hot if you want to burn belly fat. Instead, cook your rice, let it cool down completely, and perhaps even leave it in the fridge overnight. When you are ready to eat, just gently reheat it. The resistant starch levels will remain significantly higher than when it was first cooked. The benefit here is massive. You are literally hacking your biology, turning a typically bad carbohydrate into a gut-healing superfood. But I must give you a quick warning. This is not magic. Just because it is now a resistant starch does not mean you can eat endless mountains of it. Overall portion control is still the absolute foundation of your success. Signal number 3. The Hara Hachi Bu rule and stomach stretch receptors. In Okinawa, Japan, which is famously known as one of the world's blue zones for longevity, there is a powerful cultural philosophy. It is called Hara Hachi Bu. Translated, it means you should only eat until you are 80% full. This is not just some ancient poetic saying. It is a precise hack for your endocrine system. Let us look at the biological mechanics. Inside your stomach wall, you have physical stretch sensors called mechanoreceptors. When food enters your stomach, these receptors stretch and send a chemical signal to your brain, specifically using a master hormone called leptin. Leptin is the hormone that tells your brain, "We have enough energy, stop eating, and let us burn fat." But here is the critical flaw in the human body. There is a massive biological lag. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes for that leptin signal to travel from your stomach to your brain. If you eat rapidly, or if you eat until your stomach physically feels 100% stuffed, you have already overshot the runway. By the time your brain finally receives the signal that you are full, you have already shoved hundreds of excess calories into your system. Your insulin spikes wildly to deal with the overflow, and the fat storage doors are blown wide open. By intentionally stopping at 80%, you are simply giving your hormones the time they need to catch up with physical reality. So, how do you practice this? First, you must slow down. Force yourself to chew every single bite, 20 to 30 times. Second, put your chopsticks down the exact moment the aggressive, growling hunger disappears. Do not eat until you are completely full. The ultimate benefit here is that you resensitize your body to leptin. When you constantly overeat, you become leptin-resistant, meaning your brain always thinks you are starving, even when you are overweight. Hara Hachi Bu repairs that broken communication line. You will notice that if you stop eating at 80%, 20 minutes later, you will feel perfectly and comfortably full. Signal number 4. Maximizing NEAT everywhere. If you visit Japan, you will quickly notice something fascinating. You rarely see people sweating in gyms, yet they are constantly in motion. They walk to the train station, they navigate massive underground subway lines, and they almost always take the stairs. This constant, low-level daily movement is scientifically known as NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Earlier in this video, we talked about how grueling cardio routines trigger a massive cortisol spike. While an intense workout might burn a few hundred calories, it puts your central nervous system into a state of panic. NEAT is the complete opposite. It operates stealthily in the background. It can account for a massive 15 to 30% of your total daily energy expenditure, and it does this without triggering a single drop of stress hormones. But the real magic of NEAT happens immediately after you eat. When you consume food, your blood sugar naturally rises. If you just sit down or go to sleep, your body relies entirely on insulin to clear that sugar. However, if you take a light, gentle walk right after a meal, the physical contraction of your leg muscles acts like a master key. It forces open specific doors on your muscle cells called GLUT4 receptors. Once these doors open, your muscles act like a vacuum cleaner, sucking the glucose directly out of your bloodstream to use as immediate fuel. And here is the most incredible part. This process happens completely independently of insulin. You are literally flattening your blood sugar curve and protecting your body from fat storage without forcing your pancreas to do any work at all. Your practical protocol is incredibly simple. You do not need to run a marathon. Just commit to a 10-minute walk immediately after your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Throughout the entire day, aim to accumulate 8,000 to 10,000 steps. By doing this, you naturally lower your blood sugar, you melt away that stubborn, visceral fat, and you achieve a lean physique without the exhausting mental and physical fatigue of heavy gym sessions. Signal number 5. Balancing cortisol through thermal therapy. In Japan, ending the day with a hot bath, known as ofuro, is not just a cultural luxury. It is a daily ritual for stress relief and a total metabolic reset. Let us look at the biological power of heat. When you expose your body to water temperatures between 38 and 40 degrees Celsius, you forcefully activate your parasympathetic nervous system. This is your body's ultimate rest and digest state. The warmth expands your blood vessels, improving circulation, and most importantly, it acts as an emergency brake on your cortisol production. Why is this crucial for stripping away belly fat? Because cortisol and sleep are locked in a biological seesaw. When your cortisol levels are high from daily stress, you simply cannot enter deep sleep. But when thermal therapy flushes that stress hormone out of your system, your brain is finally allowed to transition into slow-wave sleep. This is the exact moment the magic happens. During this deep sleep phase, your pituitary gland releases a massive surge of human growth hormone, or HGH. This specific hormone is biologically the most powerful visceral fat burner in the human body. By strategically lowering your cortisol before bed, you are literally setting the stage to burn belly fat while you are completely unconscious. Your practical routine is very simple. Take a quick 10 to 15-minute warm shower about 1 hour before you go to sleep. If you do not want a shower, you can simply soak your feet in a basin of hot water mixed with Epsom salts. However, I must give you a very important safety warning. Only use warm water, never scalding hot. The moment you are done, dry your body completely and immediately. You must absolutely avoid any cold drafts or sudden temperature drops to prevent catching a chill or shocking your immune system. Furthermore, if you have any underlying health conditions, especially regarding high blood pressure, skipping the full body bath and choosing the hot foot soak instead is the absolute safest and most effective solution for you. Please do not try to change your entire life overnight. That will only cause more stress. Instead, simply weave these biological signals into a single day. Here is your actionable timeline. 7 a.m. You wake up. Before you look at your phone, before you drink coffee, drink 1 large glass of pure water. This immediately hydrates your cells and physically wakes up your digestive tract. 7:30 a.m. You incorporate your first dose of everyday movement. Take a gentle 10-minute walk, or simply park your car further away from your office building to boost your NEAT. No sweating, just natural movement. 8:30 a.m. It is time for breakfast. This is where you apply the egg sequencing protocol. By eating high-quality fats and proteins, like eggs, first, you keep your insulin perfectly flat for the entire morning. Only after you have eaten the eggs should you consume any small amounts of carbohydrates, if you even need them at all. 12 p.m. Lunchtime. Remember the Washoku sequencing rule. You start your meal with a salad or a vegetable soup. Then, you move on to your meat or fish. Finally, you finish with your reheated resistant starch rice. And crucially, put your chopsticks down the exact moment you hit 80% fullness. 12:30 p.m. Step outside for a light 10-minute walk around your workplace. This is your master key to force open those GLUT4 doors, pulling sugar directly into your muscles instead of allowing it to convert into belly fat. 6:30 p.m. Dinner time. You repeat the exact same sequence as your lunch. Vegetables first, protein second, resistant starch last. 9 p.m. It is time for thermal therapy. Soak your feet in warm water to crush your daytime cortisol levels and forcefully activate your parasympathetic nervous system. When you step out, dry off immediately and stay away from any cold drafts. 10:30 p.m. You prepare for the final and most important step, applying the 11 p.m. rule. You need to be completely asleep before 11 p.m. This timing is critical. It ensures you hit your deep sleep cycle exactly when your body is primed to release a massive wave of human growth hormone. you will literally be burning stubborn visceral fat while you dream. Achieving a lean, healthy body is not, and should never be, a lifelong punishment of exhausting yourself in the gym until you collapse. The truth is, your body wants to be healthy. It just needs the right environment. By strategically suppressing your insulin through meal sequencing, by feeding your gut microbiome with powerful resistant starch, and by calming your nervous system to flush out cortisol, you are completely flipping your metabolic switch. You are no longer fighting against your own biology. You are finally partnering with it. You are transitioning from a stressed-out survivor that hoards fat into a completely natural fat-burning machine. Remember this: understanding your own physiology is the only real key to permanent, effortless, and sustainable fat loss. If this deep dive into human biology finally solved the mystery of your past weight loss struggles, and if it gave you hope that there is a better way, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We have many more science-based protocols coming your way to help you take back control of your health. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment down below and tell me, how old are you? Where in the world are you watching from? And which of those 5 metabolic signals will you start applying tomorrow morning? Let us build a strong, global community grounded in true biological health. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.